Hello and welcome to the Philippines. To say Carbone Public Market in downtown Cebu City is a huge market is a bit of an understatement. This is the kind of one of the many entrances to it. There are many streets that come into this area, and it encompasses a huge area. It includes fruits and vegetables and hardware, clothing, furniture, fish, and all your meats, and an area where they bring them in very early in the morning and take care of the processing of all those items. I come down here about once a month and buy a number of things. It's cheaper down here, for one thing.
Hello. Can I ride too? Oh, full.
Not only is it cheaper than many of the department stores, the supermarkets, but many of the items tend to be fresher. They come right down out of the fruit and vegetable markets and are processed very early in the morning. So you can get some, for instance, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, anything and everything almost. Prices vary. Some of the stuff is seasonal. Some of the stuff comes in from different countries, so it comes off the boats and or planes occasionally, I suppose. For instance, garlic is often Taiwanese garlic. Sometimes it's Chinese garlic. There is local garlic, I think, that comes from someplace up in Luzon, I believe. There's a number of fruits and vegetables that come out of Mindanao. So all that stuff has to be transported off the farms by trucks down to the piers, onto ships and ferries, and transported to the various places. And then trucks pick this stuff up and take them wherever they're going.
How much is broccoli?
160.
160? Really? Whoa. Gotten very expensive.
160 pesos per kilogram was the highest price that I heard. This was right as I entered. These guys they earn their living pushing these carts around. Anyway, that was the highest price, but it looked like the freshest broccoli as well. So it may well have been worth that extra. I think I ended up buying some for 120 pesos. The quality of the vegetables and fruits will also vary, and oftentimes you'll have three different items. For instance, mangoes, the ones that have some damage to them, the ones that have just a little damage to them, and the ones that look prettier, like the ones we see on so many of our supermarket shelves in the USA and other countries. You pay extra for pretty. Not only is the pricing better than most supermarkets, and the product, many of them fresher than what you'll find in many of your supermarkets. But I enjoy the culture. I enjoy the experience. My first trip here to Cebu City, Philippines in 2015, I told many people I want to go down to Cologne Street, which is the downtown area, just very close to this area, and that I had heard about the Carbone market and I wanted to go there. And many people, you could see it in their eyes. Oh, the fear. They said, "Oh no, sir, you don't want to go down there. It's not safe." And I actually put off my trip. I didn't go. I refused to go down there for a couple of months, and I finally just decided I'm going to take my risk and I'm going to go down there and check it out. And I was told that it used to be more dangerous and more pickpockets, and that they have increased police patrols and undercover people down there and cleaned the area up a bit. So anyway, if you are so inclined to visit a place like this, I would strongly recommend it. I don't see many tourists, see very few foreigners down here, which kind of surprises me. They probably hear the same thing that I did originally. Sir, ma'am, you don't want to go down there. Good advice if you're going anywhere is not to wear jewelry. I got a comment a long time ago from a lady subscriber that said she had a necklace ripped off her neck when she was down in this area. That could happen anywhere, any place in the world. Uh, don't flash cash. Don't do stupid things. Be aware of your surroundings. I have a number of times in the last 3 years that I've been here in my 2 trips. I have observed people trying to get close to me, maybe a kid or younger adult coming up on both sides of me, and I just change my direction or whatever. But if you're standing talking to people and the crowd surrounds you, just be aware.
Manga? What's the difference? Oh, same thing. 35 because they're older?
Or damaged.
Damaged?
Yeah.
Okay. 35 per kilo?
Yes.
Okay.
You choose.
And 50 per kilo.
This is better, crispy.
Yeah. Can I get how many in half a kilo?
Half kilo, 25. Half
Yeah,
kilo only.
but how many do you think?
Maybe 3 or 4 pieces.
Okay.
It depends on the size.
Right, understand.
There are a couple large buildings in this area, and one is it's cooler inside, and then a lot of the items in this they may have a cooler in here as well, but a lot of it is imported. For instance, you can buy pineapple from the Philippines, or you can buy pineapple from Hawaii, which are usually larger pineapples.
More store?
But many of these items are imported here. There is a second level here, but there's very little up here that I can see. A little bit of produce area and offices.
What are these?
Gabi.
Gabi?
Yeah.
How much are those?
30 per kilo.
30 per kilo. What is that, like a potato? Similar, what is it? Like potato?
Like sweet potato.
Like kamote?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Lemon. Calamansi. Calamansi? Calamansi. These are calamansi.
Calamansi.
Okay. 20 per 1/4 kilo?
80.
Huh?
80.
80 per kilo?
Yeah.
Oh, gatos?
Gatos, 80 gapon.
Yeah, I have some at home. I don't want not today. These are eggplant? Eggplant?
Eggplant.
For 30 per kilo? 30 per kilo?
One thing I've never seen here that I've seen in the supermarkets is strawberries, and I almost always buy my strawberries frozen at S&R or Landers or some other place. The local ones growing up way up north of Manila and Luzon, Baguio area, and then I understand there are a couple other mountain areas they grow them as well. And rhubarb, I like rhubarb. And very seldom do I find rhubarb. Haven't seen it here. I've seen it out on the street. People sitting on the street selling a few different things, rhubarb being one. And I've seen it once in a store. I think in a Metro department store, and maybe a Gaisano, but very rare I find that type of thing. Or dill to make dill pickles with.
How much is garlic?
60.
60 per kilo?
Yes.
Where does it come? Local or is it Chinese? Chinese garlic?
No.
Local?
Taiwan.
Taiwan local.
Yeah.
Okay, Taiwan. Very good.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. How much are cucumbers? 25 per kilo? Huh? 40 per kilo? You don't have any purple cabbage? Purple cabbage? Purple cabbage?
Yeah.
Over here? Huh?
Over there.
Okay, thank you.
I bought the cucumbers to make some pickles, and these people over here had 2 heads of purple cabbage, one very small one, one medium-sized one, and I ended up buying the medium-sized one for 120 pesos. Good price. Cabbage is good for you. Purple cabbage is even better for you.
Purple cabbage? How much are tomatoes? How much? 45. 45 per kilo? Huh? Per kilo?
To convert pesos per kilogram to US dollars per pound, I take the pesos per kilogram price. I divide by 50, which is about the conversion rate, 50 pesos per dollar now. And then I divide by 2.2 because there's 2.2 pounds in a kilogram. And that should give you your price per pound. And you can do that with any currency if you know the conversion rate. But most of the world operates on kilograms, the metric system, and not pounds. It can get very crowded in here, and I don't envy the people who need to move stuff in and out of here with their carts and their trucks. I've even seen guys pushing these carts and women pushing these carts later in the evening, delivering goods. Sometimes they've delivered them and they're pushing them back empty.
How much is broccoli?
130.
130? Potatoes, one for 60. My bag is getting very heavy. I might come back for more.
This was a Sunday afternoon, about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I think. So a lot of the activity probably happened very early in the morning till noon, but there's still quite a few people here in some different areas. Some of the stands, food stands, were closed down, probably because it was a Sunday or they had other things to do, whatever the case. But there is no shortage of fruits and vegetables and meats. In fact, a lot of the meat stations inside the building were shut down. They had a few meat stations selling mostly chickens in the outdoor stand. There were, look at the guys, all this traffic, and there's not road rage generally. You know, everybody stops and allows the other people to go. Then they go from the other direction for a while. You occasionally hear some horns, but it works here with little or no traffic directions. There's no stop signs. There's no traffic signals. People just make it work. They work together, and I think this is some local garlic. I bought some garlic like that was packaged like that in strings. Not absolutely positive, but there are a number of areas where they have various food stands set up and 3-wheel carts selling various things, tricycling around the area. There is no shortage of bananas in the Philippines. Many different types of bananas, many different conditions of ripeness. There are lots of little alleyways and buildings. I was here for a couple of hours and stopped and chatted with a few people, and maybe I saw about a third of what was there. And if you're tired, you just climb up on a table and take a nap. Maybe you shouldn't. Being a foreigner, you can probably get by with it if you own the table. I was surprised how many people spoke English, enough English to get by. And they're very friendly, very helpful. If I had questions about where something was, they would point me in the right direction generally, or find somebody nearby. They would ask somebody else they didn't know. And just very, very friendly people. There are a number of corners where they have tricycle drivers, where if you buy stuff you don't want to carry it around, you can pay them a certain fee. They'll ask you where you're going. If you want them to drive you around for an hour or whatever, just pay whatever they are asking, and pick up the different items that you want. And they could probably advise you as to prices and where stuff are as well. Oh, I bought some of this pineapple. I think it was.
How much is the pineapple? Huh? How much?
50 per kilo, sir. This one's 50. 10. 20.
These are 10?
Oh, 10.
These are each 10?
Yes. No, not all. This.
No, just one package?
Oh.
Oh. 10. These are how much?
20.
These are 20. Twice as much.
50 for 350.
Huh?
315. Ano, saan mo ni
15. Yeah.
50.
1-5. Huh?
50.
50. Oh.
Only 3.
Oh.
3.
Okay.
I bought most of that cut up pineapple, and the reason I did, I was going to use it when different people asked me for money for food. I was going to hand them some of the pineapple. I tried that. 2 groups of kids said, I don't want pineapple, I want money. So they didn't get anything. But I was finally able to give it away to some people living under a truck, bunch of kids, and I think their father. This was in the middle of the afternoon, so I think some of the prices were starting to drop a little bit. And also take into account that sometimes I was getting the foreigner price quoted probably initially. I did not haggle or negotiate at all. I just, when I saw something I wanted and the price seemed reasonable, I bought it. Chickens up here average from 120 pesos per kilogram to 150 per kilogram. Average of about comes down to $1.22 per pound U.S. And they cut it up for that as well.
How much are chickens?
150 per kilo.
How much? 150 per kilo? Okay. You cut them up also? You cut them? Okay. I may be back later.
I think most of the fish and other meats are in one of the big buildings that is pretty much entirely meat. They do have some fish out here on the stands. And they've got some live chickens, live pigeons, rabbits, and things down here as well. I talked to people about those items. Salt. That white stuff I think is salt. I thought it was soap. They kept telling me soap. They said, no, sir, it's salt. Eat. It's stuff to eat. I asked them, what kind of soap is it? What's it for? Dishes or clothes? And we finally got it straight that it was salt.
How much are chickens?
Chicken.
How much are chickens?
The small 350.
The small one's 350 per kilo or total?
And the big per kilo. Small no kilo.
Oh, no kilo, just 350.
Oh, 350. Because the big per kilo, 1 kilo, 250.
250 per kilo. How many
It's
kilos
the
is one of these?
2 kilos, 1.5.
1.5?
Mm.
A bird? What are the pigeons?
The
What about how much for the pigeons? What do you call them? What do you call them?
250
250 each?
each.
Each? What do you do with them? Eat them? Eat them? Ah. And you- Ah. Whoop, sorry. Oh, rabbits. How much?
700.
700 each? Each? And here are eggs, vary a little bit in price from 5 to 6 pesos each. And some places they're, for instance, a little sari store might be 7 or 8 pesos each. I've been buying my eggs from S&R store recently, and they are the eggs with the yellowest, deepest yellow color that I've found. Generally speaking, the darker yellow that you get in an egg, the more healthy it is. Look out so you don't get run over. Most people here try not to run you over, but accidents can happen. I did not get to the hardware section. They've got an area where they've got tools and wheelbarrows and rakes and shovels. Where's the big building with all the meat? Where's the big building with meat? You know? Okay. Where's the building with meat? Meat? Pork and beef?
Pork and beef.
Yeah, where they...
Inside have a small, inside is,
Inside?
yeah.
Okay.
This side also have, but much better there.
Inside.
Yeah.
Very good.
No.
Thank you. No. Voila. Right there, I had a young little kid wandering around all by himself come up, and I didn't see him come, and he come up, and all of a sudden I felt a hand in my pocket, and he didn't get anything. But those kind of things, especially in your crowd, if you're in a crowd, now I wasn't in a crowd, and I noticed it right away, but it would be easy just to go about your business and not even notice until you find out later you're missing something. One of the important words I've learned here in the Philippines, wala, no, wala quarta, no money. It seems that far too often people think I'm the rich foreigner and asking for money, usually children. The logistics of all this really amazes me because you have trucks that go up into the different mountain farms or the piggeries wherever and pick up produce, pick up vegetables and fruits, or go to the ports and pick them up off of ships, boats, ferries. Red rice, 60 per kilo. Pure pellet, 120 per kilo. Vietnam rice, 60 per kilo. First class pellet, 75 per kilo. I think that's corn. Is pellet corn? Pellet?
No, that's rice.
Pellet is rice?
No.
Is,
Sticky.
huh? Sticky?
No.
Like sticky rice? Oh, do you have black rice? Just
Red rice.
Oh, just red rice? Okay.
That one, I think that's black.
Violet.
I was about to say there's no shortage of rice in the Philippines, but that's not actually true. There was a shortage of some types of rice. There's import restrictions, I believe. They're in the process of maybe changing that tarification system. They have a rice that comes under a program, NFA, I believe, National Food Association or something like that, and program. It is subsidized, I believe, maybe a little bit lower quality, lower price for generally the poorer people. And they keep a certain amount of rice in storage, and they were running out of rice. They weren't going to have enough to carry them through, so they had to okay the purchase of additional rice from, I believe, Vietnam and Thailand.
One of the problems with crops in the Philippines is that you've got drought, you've got too much rain, not enough rain, a lot of mountainous areas. You don't have areas where you can have large fields. Different farms will have a lot of small fields because it just doesn't work out for them to have a huge economical field. And I think oftentimes they don't use much in the way of fertilizer, and there's a whole nother debate about fertilizer and what types you should use and whether you should use it versus natural means. And the books have been written about that, what it's done to soil and nutrients in produce and vegetables in the U.S. and other parts of the world, how it has changed the nutritional content of foods. I usually buy organic black rice, which is supposed to be one of the more nutritious rices. Red rice is also nutritious, brown rice more so than white. I have bought a mixture of that included brown rice, red rice, and black rice, mixture of it. Tried to give it to some Filipino friends that didn't even want to try black rice. And they told me, the family tried it, nobody would eat it. And they just claim that it doesn't have the same taste that they grew up eating and liking so much. And it really comes down to what you grow up eating, what you like, the taste, the textures, the smells, the flavors that you're used to. And I just cannot get people to try to eat more healthy. In my opinion, see, it's always difficult trying to change someone else's culture, including what they eat, how they eat. This is the inside the big meat building, and to the left is primarily fish, and this is later in the afternoon, so not much left over there. There's I think some people with chicken here as well. But most of that is gone. A lot of people doing the cleanup. A lot of these people have been up since the middle of the night, very early morning, when all the trucks are coming in, and they are dead beat tired. I've seen some of these trucks roll in from the farms, and they might have 5 or 10 people in the cabs of these trucks just packed in there, and then they might have another 5 or 20 people riding back in the truck with all the produce and vegetables. And they bring the whole crew in here to unload it and distribute it out to the different people. There are different groups that have the carts to help these guys unload. Sometimes they're unloading out by the highway. There's not enough room to get their trucks into these areas, so they unload them on the carts, and they hire these guys to push the carts, push their produce to the different areas. The outlets that they have set up. A lot of these cages where they actually do the processing of the animals, so it doesn't get much fresher than that. That's like carabao or carabao? How much per kilo?
230.
Huh?
230.
230 per kilo? Okay. The Carbone market downtown Cebu City is one huge place, one very interesting place. I'd taken a couple Filipino friends down there, and because the people saw me with them, they were quoted foreigner prices, and we ended up going downtown and buying, for instance, some shoes much less than what they were quoted. They quickly wanted to drop the price, but there's a point where you feel insulted. They understood what was going on. And anyway, that's a look around Carbone Market, and I've done a previous video or two down there, and this is a little more in-depth, a little more prices, and a good place just to experience and watch people. Anyway, thank you for coming along, watching. Please like, please share the video, please subscribe. Safe travels to you all, and we'll see you next time.